this is Dr. Katie with Craig Chiropractic and Kinesiology, and today I want to debunk some myths about being healthy, eating healthy, and what that should look like. So let's dive in. Now, have you ever been afraid of eating healthy or getting into the healthier lifestyles or trends that you see on social media? Because A, number one, they either seem super expensive, or B, that number two spot, it just doesn't seem attainable or something you can do right now. Maybe you're just too busy. You know, that's what this video is for you. Now, we see a lot of influencers, doctors, practitioners, individuals online sharing how to live healthy, what to do. And while that can be very helpful, I also understand that that can be very overwhelming. There's information coming from many sources. Some of them are credible, some of them are not. And where do we even begin? So let's just start at the basics. We know that here in America, that's where I'm located, United States, we know that the standard American diet, which is the acronym SAD, or the SAD diet, is really not that healthy. So this includes things like cereals for breakfast, high sugar, lots of pop or soda, fast foods, frozen pizza, chicken nuggets, hot dogs, processed meats like deli meats, pepperoni, sausages, things like this. So basically, the standard American diet is highly processed, highly inflammatory, high sugary foods, okay? And we're not gonna go into that for sake of time in this video, but just understand that generally speaking, that is not healthy, okay? Especially over the long term, eating those kind of foods. Drinking a Mountain Dew and having something like a donut for breakfast is just not healthy in the long term. Now that being said, I think most of us can agree that those types of foods aren't healthy. But what does health actually look like and how do we attain that? Now, if you follow individuals online, you know, like health influencers and others, they'll try to tell you that you need to basically pack up from the city, move out to the middle of nowhere in the country, start doing, you know, your own farming and things. And while that is cool, and certainly you can get a lot of great produce that way, that is just not practical or attainable for everybody. So how can we get things balanced here? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of use the basics, the good, better, and best. I think I'm gonna start with fair, good, better, best. Okay, so we all can probably agree standard American diet's not the greatest. So what are the best options? Like here in America, if you have the best option, the best there is, okay, we're gonna say all the way over here, we'll just start there, is if you do go out and you farm on your own land, all organic, you're not using any pesticides, you're not using any GMO seeds, you're doing it all yourself and you know what's going into it. You're raising your own animals, you know, pasture raised, grass fed. That is like the best of the best if you're able to do that, okay? But let's be real, most Americans, that's not attainable. This doesn't mean you can't do it, we certainly could, but for many Americans, it's either the cost or the convenience. That's just not something that is practical. Maybe that's a better term, is practical for them, okay? I know I'm in that situation too. That's not a practical thing for me at this phase in my life. Now, while I think that's awesome, and I have some friends that do that, I understand that not everybody can do that. So the top thing is having your own land, doing your own farming, your own homesteading, your own hobby farming, and doing that. The next best, again, still over in sort of this best category, is if you have a friend or know a farmer that is raising the animals and produce themselves so you can get it fresh from the source, okay? That is your best case scenario. Can you do that? Do you have a local farmer's market where you can go and get your organic produce? You can get that fresh, grass-fed, pasture-raised meat. That is really the best of the best, okay? That is best case scenario. Practically though, I understand that not everybody is gonna be able to get that. So what do we do if we can't get the best? Well, you get the thing that's better, right? What's that? That's going to a normal grocery store. This is like going to Walmart, Target, Cub, whatever you have near you, Costco, Aldi. You're going to what you have available in your area and you're buying the best quality you can get, okay? If you're able to, I encourage you, get organic, okay? Why are we doing that? We're doing that to reduce the amount of pesticides that are sprayed on. If you're interested in learning more about that, I encourage you to go to the Environmental Working Group website and they have a list called the Dirty Dozen. Okay, go ahead and look at that. They'll list the fruits and vegetables most likely to be sprayed with pesticides and those that are the least likely, so you can learn what you want to spend the extra money to get organic on and the few things that are safe enough to get non-organic to help you save money. Okay, so do the best you can. Okay, if budget allows, try to do that. Try to get your fresh produce. Now, I understand that what if one or two scenarios, either you do not have organic produce available or it can get quite expensive. Let's be real. Some people can't afford that. Do the next best thing. Still get the fresh produce, get the regular. Listen, in a perfect world, I would love all my patients eating all organic produce, but I just know that that is not attainable for everybody. So if you can't get organic, get the regular fresh produce. Make sure you're washing it and cleaning it, okay? I might do a future video giving some pointers on that, but at minimum, washing and cleaning. All right, what if you're somebody and that's just not attainable? It's not practical for you to either purchase and process and prep fresh veggies and wash those? Well, let's do the next best thing. Let's go frozen. Okay, fresh is always better. Frozen is next in line, right? Again, if we're going frozen, try to get the organic frozen. Don't have organic or you can't afford it, get regular, okay? Can't afford the fresh or the frozen. Now we go to canned. I know I am not sitting here recommending that you get canned vegetables, okay? You're much better off getting frozen or getting the fresh. But if you cannot afford or get those, canned is the next best thing. Eating a canned vegetable is still better than eating no vegetables, okay? In the right scenario. The next thing, are you able to get them in jars versus cans, right? A jar is still better than a can. If you are getting canned, you know, with like the plastics and all those things, is it BPA free, things like that. So again, try to get the fresh organic produce if you can. Go frozen. If we have to go canned, we can. It's not my top choice, but if you have to, again, try to get an organic canned vegetable if you can. From there, try to look for very limited ingredients, that it's just like the vegetable, all right? So that is kind of my path to get healthy vegetables. Okay, so do the best you can with what you have. I understand that sometimes we need things that are quick, that are faster. Just know that the more something is in a box, the more processed it is, the less healthy it is. Okay, so the goal is to get more whole foods. What does that mean? That's like a fruit or vegetable or like a meat. So instead of like a processed sausage or a pepperoni, it's like the actual ham or the actual pork or the actual beef. Okay, so you're actually eating that and you can season it and still make it very nice. It's actually steaming up some carrots to go with your meal versus, you know, eating something quick out of a box. I understand that convenience is a factor, but this is just how I want us to look at it when it comes to food. So again, do the best you can. If you can get the organic fresh, do it yourself, great. If not, this is how I want you to go through when you're getting things like your vegetables, things like your meats. You know, it's similar with the meats too. Again, if you can get directly from a source, grass-fed, organic, get that. Next thing, you know, if you can get it from the store and get organic or grass-fed, go ahead, get that. You can't find the grass-fed, you can't find the organic, try to make sure at minimum it doesn't have antibiotics or other things. It's still not perfect, but it's still better, okay? Do the best you can with what you got and stay tuned for our part 2 follow-up of this video. Thank you.